Hello, good morning. So, to present with you my 8 visual symbols, so it is keep with my portfolio box in which I and make it organized. Actually, all the things my projects was is placed there are placed there. So to make a review, so these are my flashcards. It's not part, but I would like to share it with you. My flashcards. Okay. So these are my flashcards. This is my first project, but I will really present this one during our class. So this time I would like to present with you my 8 visual symbols. So before it, visual symbols are a representation of direct reality, which comes in the forms of signs, symbols. The following is a detailed discussion on the different kind of visual symbols, which are drawings, sketches, cartoons, comics, or strip drawing, diagrams, charts and graphs, maps and posters. But there are rules of making that visual symbols. So rules of thumbs in using visuals. So what are the rules? So first, visual symbols must be directly relevant to the audio content. Second, redundancy between visuals and audio must be avoided. If words are displayed, viewers must be given time to read it. Third, visual displays should be big enough to be seen by the farthest pupil. Fourth, visual displays must be attractive. Fifth, visual displays must be aesthetically presented to maintain good taste. So kind of visual symbols. To start with, the cartoons. Cartoons tell story metaphorically. Pictures which need no caption. Symbolism conveys message. Less words, more symbolism, the better. The cartoon presents a certain issue of concern, which could be either for or against it. It is particular representation or caricature of a person, idea, situation, or issue that is designed to influence public opinion. Therefore, cartoons must be presented in a challenging manner. For better understanding, they should be drawn around a single idea. Suggestion for use of cartoons. Appropriateness to experience level. The age and the experience or maturity of the target learners must be taken into consideration. Simplicity contains only the essential features. The cartoon must not contain so many details. Brevity of captions, if ever, but they may not be given any. Short and direct captions are used when necessary only. Use of clear symbols or symbols that are conventional, like the dove to mean death, the turtle to mean slow or sluggishness, and others. Adequateness of size. The cartoon should be big enough to be seen and appreciated. Cartoons should be used for motivation, for follow-up activity, and for evaluation purposes. So the next visual symbol I'd like to present to you is the poster. A poster is a combination of bold designs and color primarily intended to catch attention in a significant fact, idea, or message. Simply stated, a poster is a picture with appropriate caption. Characteristics of a good poster. It must be bold and simple but dramatized picture. It must be appropriate to the grade level and to the subject and purpose and purposes. It must have only limited text, few words, or generally used and key words and made to stand out by means of type, size, or position. It must be attractive, pleasing to the eyes. Design and color must be given consideration. Composition, color, and techniques are principal elements in effective poster preparation. It requires a center of interest. Color provides meaning and expression as well as beauty. It must have elements of dynamism and shocks. Posters are best used for motivation and for creative experience as depicting ideas, concepts, and generalizations to summarize a celebration of a unit. So this poster represents for a student or very much excited in going to school wherein there's no problem around the world. But the other student was feel sad. It's because of the Corona 19 pandemic virus. Next is the stick drawing. I just draw a family drawing represent for father, mother, and the child. So this drawing and sketches, there are code and simple lines which are effective in showing what needs to be shown with a sufficient clarity to make the meaning vivid and learner students. They are drawing with no illusions or depth, but a smart teacher can use them in a very effective way in explaining and show ideas and concepts. Next, I would like to present to you the diagram. Why should I present it to you? It's because it's all about my major, the electrical. This diagram represents for a complete circuit, wherein there is a voltage, the plus and minus, and the current that represent for the I, and the R represents for the load or the resistance. So what's with the diagram? Diagrams are simplified drawing designed to show interrelationship primarily by means of lines and symbols. They are used to explain rather than to represent. It is drawing that shows arrangement and relationship as part as a whole, relative values, origins, and developed chronological flow, fluctuation, and distribution. So the diagram is used to condense visual summaries of facts. The idea is really heavily on symbolic means, however, it must be remembered that it is more effective. Has a strong foundation because it works better for summarizing rather than introducing a lesson. It can be used singly, but it is better if it is used simultaneously with other materials. This is the diagram. So the next visual symbol I would like to present with you is all about the charge. Okay, the electrical students, this is the most important charge that they're going to memorize. There must be a charge on their home in order for them to memorize the formula. So in the charts are graphic or pictorial presentation of a large mass of information. It shows progression through time and space of people or events, ideas, and objects. So this is the P represents for the power, the V represents for the voltage, R for the resistance, and I represents for the current. So these are their formula. To simplify for the students, to remind them, they're going to memorize each formula in order for them to solve the problem given. And that is the example of the electrical circuit diagram. And this time I would like to present with you the graphs. So graph represents as a quantitative data for easier analysis and interpretation. It shows comparative relationships of data involved in size, length, and growth. Graphs are best used in developing and in summarizing a unit. So this graph I made is, is a demographic profile, a population size, growth, and distribution. The earliest population estimate was in 1650, which shows that the population of Cagayan de Oro was barely 900. Records show that in 1903, when the first census was taken, the population of Cagayan was placed at 10,937. This excluded Ipunan, former municipality of Bukidnon Province, and Gusa, then a barrio of Agusan Municipality, Bukidnon. In 1939, the population had reached 53,194, which covered Barrio Sungay and the population of the former municipality district of Lourdes. So this is the actual population of 1650 to 2015. So the line graph, it is the most accurate of all graphs used in plotting trends of relationships between two series of data. It is used when there is considerable number of data to be plotted and if these data are continuous. This is the line graph. So this time, the most challenging one I've made is making a strip drawing or a comic strip. So I titled it as actually they were talking. So before that, a comic strip is a strip drawing are recommended for their story value in adaptation of the classics. They are effective in instruction not only because they are simple, clear, and easy to read, but because they deal with the materials and has been made personal. Comics is a form of cartooning in which the same cast of characters from a story in sequence of closely related drawings, designed to entertain the readers. They are usually enjoyed by elementary pupils as well as secondary students because of their simplicity, attractiveness, color, and relevant plot. The uses of superheroes and fantasies theme and interest to the learners, thus the use of the comic strip in facilitating instruction must be used to the maximum. So this is my comic strip. So values derived from the strip drawings increases interest in the subject, individualized and personalized instruction for a certain types of pupils, serves as a valuable practice in reading, widens reading interest. So reason for using comic strip. It is easy to read, so it encourages reading and it building vocabulary. It satisfies the collector's interest in acquiring copies. It provides excitement. It is inexpensive. It satisfies the children's idea of art. So this is my comic strip. So lastly, the map. The map of Mindanao. So what's all about the map? A physical map, also called relief maps. They are the best because of their three-dimensional representation, which includes geographical outline of the land and water, commercial or economic maps, also known as a product or industrial maps, since they show area in relationship to the economy. So this is the map. The Mindanao maps were in the orange, legend orange represents for the Zamboanga Peninsula, the pink represents for the northern Mindanao, the blue represents for the Davao region, the purple represents for Soxargen region, and the Caraga region represents yellow, and the ARM region represents the green. So this is the map. So those are my 8 visual symbols. Thank you very much.